Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffy Kennedy, author of fantasy romance and romantic fantasy. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Hits the spot. Today is Tuesday, November 16th. And I think I'm just going to sit here and drink my coffee in quiet because I don't feel like I have anything to say today. I don't know why. Well, part of it is, she said, without without pause, the thing that's heaviest on my mind I can't talk about. Has to do with syphilis stuff. I will be glad when this is not something that I'm thinking about. Um, Still out in the garden. If you're on video, you can see. Um, I know I keep saying this, but I think even my hardy blooming rose there is going to have to give up the ghost by Thursday morning because we're supposed to actually start getting some winter freezing temperatures by then. Uh, I'll need to bring in a couple of these baskets. I mean, I can't believe my petunia hanging baskets are still blooming. Uh, some people are, saying dire things. I've learned a new word. It's not really a new word, but a new version of the word. The tohees are having quite the kerfuffle over in the lilac. Um, and that's catastrophizing. I had never put it that way, but somebody recently said to me that they had been accused of catastrophizing everything. And it's like, actually, I could see people doing this. And maybe it's an outgrowth of the pandemic, um, where things became more disastrous than we ever could have predicted. I mean, it's interesting seeing clips of Dr. Fauci from back then because, I mean, he was right the whole time. We didn't want to believe it, but he was. I'm sure there were lots of other epidemiologists who made the same predictions based on modeling science. Uh, but yeah, it's almost like catastrophizing becomes a sort of um, superstition, a spell that you work. That if you imagine the worst possible outcome of a thing, then anything else feels like a win. But dang, you guys, I'm just not good at that kind of perspective. It's a funny thing. I remain an idealist. I remain an optimist. I suppose that is a big part of my outlook and my character. But I'm like, we'll figure out a way to make this work out, and we can get there. It's just going to take some work to get there. So, got my nails done yesterday. That's pretty exciting, isn't it? Thanksgiving burgundy nails. They kind of look brown in this light, but deep burgundy with sparkles. Small joys. So, what else was I going to? I mean, I did have some thoughts going through my head there that I was going to say before I got distracted by my pretty nails. I don't know. This is on brand here at First Cup of Coffee that some days you are just going to get random babbling. I think everybody's pretty preoccupied, though. It seems like maybe a lot of people out there doing NaNoWriMo, um, people getting ready for Thanksgiving. I don't know. Feels like things are quiet, which is good. I'll take quiet. I did start revising the novella, the as yet unnamed novella. Um, I only got through like 15 pages, but they were the most difficult 15 pages. So I'm hoping I'll have that novella finished by tomorrow. I was hoping to have it today, but it's not going to happen today. But if I could have it done by tomorrow, it's a bluebird. Hello, bluebird. Yeah, bluebird of happiness. Uh, but I think tomorrow's good. And I did, if you watched yesterday's podcast, I did go and crunch my numbers for Gray Magic. And a January release is possible if I'm really on task. So we'll just see how fast that book writes. Um, I don't know if I've said this yet, but we are going to have to delay the release of the Fire of the Frost anthology. Um, and it is not my fault. And it's not even Grace's fault this time. Um, it's not Amanda's fault either. That leaves one person. And actually, it's not even wholly Dorinda's fault. Dorinda had a major bump in her schedule, uh, like terrifyingly so. I mean, like the worst kind of thing for a writer. And I won't describe because it's not my business to tell. But yeah, it's been. If you send Dorinda love, she needs love. She even canceled her family's Thanksgiving to deal with it. Partly because of most everyone is going to be gone, but also because she has to deal with this writing emergency. And so her husband's going to grill steaks and she's going to like buy this stuffing that they like. And I talked to her about it yesterday and I said, I think that's the smartest thing you can do. So, um, we're going to push back the release of Fire the Frost. It'll still be in December. It just won't be December 2nd. And we're going to wait. We have until like November 28th to push the date back. And I am holding off for now. We're just going to see like where Dorinda is in another week. And then we'll set and announce the new release date. And so, um, but yeah, into every life, right? Birdies are very busy back here. They're probably wondering what I'm doing. I haven't been out here nearly as much, so they start thinking of it as theirs, their private secret garden. Excuse me. Sucking down that latte a little fast. So let's see. What else do I have going on? Um, I already talked about, I kind of babbled a lot yesterday, didn't I? Excited about traveling for Thanksgiving. The thing that's been on my mind has been lots of things about community. I keep thinking about community, and it's one of those deals where how when you have something on your mind, and then it seems like the universe keeps putting more examples into your path. David and I were walking up to the store the other day and crossing this road through our neighborhood. Our neighborhood is a sort of a rural, unincorporated community, largely with dirt roads. But this road over that way, I'm pointing to it right up there, um, which is the one you can hear sometimes, is paved. And it's one of the three main routes sort of out of our corner of the world. And people, it's supposed to be like 35 miles an hour, but people go faster than that because people in New Mexico are always in a hurry. I don't know why. But there's a walking path, but it's on the other side of the road. So we walk up our little street and then we cross that road and then go up the walking path to walk up to the store, which is, I mean, half a mile up the road. We're in a really nice location that way. It's a little grocery store. And so, we sort of walk up to the shoulder and we wait until there's a break. And sometimes they're busier than others. And so, twice recently, somebody, as we also go this on our walking route. So if we cross the road and go down the walking path the other way, then we walk down a ways, cross the road again, and then back into the neighborhoods and circle back around, right? This might be way more detailed than you guys need. But if we do our regular walking loop, we end up crossing that road twice because there's just like no shoulder on this side. So twice recently, we have had people I'm getting funny light. The sun's breaking through. Uh, Let me fix this. There. It's a little bit overcast this morning. Really beautiful sunrise, though. I'll put that on the show notes. So, I've been teasing you with this for a long time, haven't I? Apologies. Uh, Twice recently, we've had people stop, um, and wave us to cross, being all nice and polite and everything. Well, the first time someone did this, they it was a fairly busy time, because there's also a school that way. So, like if school's letting out and so forth, there's a pretty constant stream. So this person stopped, making like this line of 8 cars behind them come screeching to a halt, because there's no light, there's no signal or anything. So, people nearly causing a wreck that way. And then they waved us across. Meanwhile, there's oncoming traffic. And we're like, and I've just had to, signal them to keep going. And finally they did. It's like, what the fuck are they thinking? That we're just going to go tripping across, oh, thank you, and then get hit by oncoming traffic the other way. It's like, no, it's all right. We can wait. And so then the other day, uh, we were walking up to the store and somebody did it again. This time there was like no traffic. So they were like the lone car, but no, they slowed down and stopped and, waved us across. Oh, thank you. Thank you, neighbor. And the thing is it's like, I know that they feel like they're being nice, like they're being considerate, but it like screws up the system. It's like, no, no, no. We're watching the traffic. We're gauging. We can figure out like when to cross. You just do what you're supposed to be doing. Sometimes the most helpful thing you can do for other people is to just do what you're supposed to be doing. Do what you're expected to do, because other people are planning their, gauging around that. And so, and David was commenting on that because it drives him crazy too that people do it. And, and I was saying, but there's like these communities of people, like in the world that that person exists in, where they feel like that is the good and right thing to do. And I think that's what we keep coming back around to with politics and stuff, is that people are almost always motivated by wanting to do the good and right thing. It's just that we profoundly disagree on what that good and right thing might be. And that's where we have problems, right? But it is very interesting to me, like people who are on Twitter think that everybody knows what's going on Twitter, and people who aren't on social media have no idea. Or like that story that I told last week about the person seeing my Kindle and asking me if Amazon was still doing that ebook thing. And and it's funny because there are so many of us for whom a huge part of our lives is consumed by Amazon doing that ebook thing. But then other people don't know if it's even like still going on. Life is an interesting thing, isn't it? World is a funny place. Yeah. So, yeah, I just don't. Sorry, I don't have much to say. So, I guess I'm going to toddle off and get my work done. Um, I will remind you all that First Cup of Coffee is part of the Frolic Media Podcast Network, and you will find more podcasts that you love at frolic.media/podcasts. And I will talk to you all on Thursday when maybe I'll have something more to say. You all take care. Bye bye.